up everyone, I hope you're all doing alright. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're actually going to be building a starter home for 3 Sims. So I put a poll on Instagram just asking people what they would like to see me build next. And my friend Jasmine Paris, who also has a YouTube channel, I'll put the link to her channel in the description. She also streams on Twitch and she plays a lot of Sims 2 content like myself. She's also just started doing Sims 2 Castaway. Well, she hasn't just started it, but she's been playing it, which has been a good laugh as well. So I definitely recommend that you check her out. But she suggested that I build a starter home using base game and eco lifestyle for 3 adult Sims. So that's what I've done today. Now, the house is for 3 adult Sims, but you could have any sort of Sims live here. It's got 3 bedrooms. I actually built it with 2 adult Sims and a teen Sim in mind, because in the save file that I've built it in, it's part of my Not So Berry save file. And when I say save file, I just mean the save file that I'm using for the Let's Play. But yeah, it's for my Not So Berry Let's Play, and I've got a couple Sims, well, I've got 3 Sims living here. We actually visited them last episode, I believe. They're a household made by my friend Go Debug Yourself, and she created 3 siblings. There's 2 sisters, and then they've got a brother as well. And yeah, I thought that I would have them live in this house. So I just wanted to basically like renovate the house, but also recreate what was already here. I did this house kind of similar to the eco starter home that I did before, which is where my current Not So Berry household is living. And I basically just wanted it to fit the world around it, which I kind of do that every single time I build in this part of the world of Evergreen Harbour. I find it quite difficult to build houses that don't match the rest of the houses that are here, because there's like a bunch of houses that are all together that look like really similar. I find it difficult to build anything that looks different to them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I kind of kept the similar sort of style that's going on in the neighbourhood. And I started off with like a dark grey sort of look. I was going with like dark grey, white accents, and then some light wood. But something about it just wasn't sitting right with me. I didn't really like it, and I wanted to go for a lighter sort of colour scheme on the exterior. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how the house turned out. The Sims that I've got living here are all really creative Sims. I think all 3 of them have the creative trait. And I wanted the house to reflect that somewhat, but it's really difficult when building a starter house to put a ton of like personality into it. So I did my best on that. They've got some gallery art in each of the bedrooms to kind of reflect that creative streak, I guess. And I also put an easel on the balcony a bit later. But yeah, I also went back and forth quite a lot with changing some of the things. So like the coffee maker, for example, I got a cheaper one. Or I would like delete some pieces of furniture, because I really wanted to get the cost of the house under 24,000 simoleons, which I think, I might be wrong, but I think that that's the starting funds for 3 Sims. So it's not a starter house being like under 20k, but it's a starter house for 3 Sims. But yeah, like I said, I am really happy with how it turned out. I feel like with eco lifestyle and base game, the build just ends up being quite modern. Like I feel like there's not much you can really do about that. I guess you could use some of the more, I guess, not modern items from base game to not have it modern, but I feel like you just, when you're building with these 2 parks, that's kind of the direction that you just end up going in, and there's not really that much you can do about it. I will say as well that when I were recording the build, I think I had to record it twice when I was doing the exterior, because reshade were just, I don't know what were happening, like it just kept messing up. So you can't tell with the footage that I've got now, because all of it was recorded without reshade. But I have actually moved on to G-shade. I feel like I mentioned it recently. I feel like I mentioned it in a video. But I think I posted on the community tab, or I shared a tutorial on how to install it by Plumbalina. Definitely recommend, if you use reshade, to swap to G-shade. It's basically the same thing. It's just, you know, with reshade, and sorry if you don't use it and this means nothing to you, but for those that do, and I know a lot of people do use it, with reshade, say if you use an old preset for it, you have to download the correct shaders and all that sort of stuff to match that preset. So for example, I use Dove by Kindle Spice, and I use the original Dove, not Dove 2.0. But yeah, I use the original Dove, and it needs the 3.08 shaders or 3.8 shaders, whatever it is. it uses an older version shaders, which are basically just the things that make the preset look how it looks. It uses older versions, or uses ones from an older version of Reshade, and then I was using 4.7. So you have to like get the old shaders and then install a preset, and it's like a whole process to get it to look how you want it to look. And with Gshade there's none of that. You just download the program, and I think it's more of an app rather than a program. I might be wrong with that one, but I think it's the way that it works on your computer is different to how Reshade does. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong and you want to correct me, feel free to do that. I don't want to be talking shit and spreading lies basically. But well, it's not lies because I'm not intentionally being wrong, but you know what I mean. But yeah, the way that it runs on your computer I think is different. But basically you just install it, you put your preset in where it needs to go, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. So definitely recommend it over Reshade. I mean, if your Reshade's not broken because of the patch, because that's what broke it for so many people, then obviously you don't have to switch if you're happy with how it is. So if you did watch my updating my Sims pronouns video and you saw that my game looked a bit weird, that was Reshade, and I tried to like correct it, and I tried to correct it during editing, but there was only so much I could do because how I record with the face cam over the gameplay, it's all one scene. So some people, when they record the webcam, they record the webcam separate and then overlay it over the gameplay. This is probably really boring, but yeah, some people record like that. I personally choose to record it all together. Also, I will say while we're at it, I did use Tool in this build. I only used it a couple times just to get the rug to be the correct size that I wanted. You can download builds from the gallery that have had Tool mod like used on them, but if you sort of change the rug, it won't go back to the size that I changed it to, if that makes sense. So say if you wanted to make it slightly bigger, then you won't be able to get it to the original size that it was, and it doesn't count as being like modded or custom content or anything like that, so you can download it as normal. So console players will be able to download this build. And yeah, as you can see, I used the really cheap beds from Eco Lifestyle for the bedrooms, because they're 25 simoleons, and like the cheapest bed, I think the cheapest double is like 300 and something. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but that really cheap bed, that base game one, is like a lot more than 25 simoleons. So obviously I'm going to use them, and then it allows you to put more stuff in the rest of the build, because then it works out that all 3 beds together were 75 simoleons, compared to if I bought 3 beds from base game, or the 3 beds that are like the next price up, it would have been like over 1,000. So I wanted to save some money with that. So top tip if you're building a starter home, to use those beds if you use an Eco Lifestyle. Obviously they're a bit like mucky looking and a bit distressed, so maybe they'll be the first things that you upgrade if you move some Sims into this house. But yeah, they had to be used. I couldn't help it. I wanted more sort of decorative stuff in the rest of the house. I also used some gallery art by Sarina Sims. I'll put their origin ID in the description as well. I wanted like a headboard for some of the beds, so I used some no CC gallery art by them. 110% recommend you have a look on their gallery as well, because they've got some objects that have been rotated with Tool mod. So for people that can't use Tool mod, they've got some objects on there that have been rotated. It's kind of hard to explain what I mean by that if you're not familiar with Tool or rotating objects, or you might be thinking, well, why would I need those? Trust me, have a look at them and look at their videos and you'll know what I'm on about. They also post on YouTube as well, so I'll link their channel in the description. I tried my best to sort of put some personality into the bedrooms, but again, with it being a starter house, there's only so much you can do, so I just sort of colour coded them based on what I think that the Sims would like. So yeah, I've got a blue one, a somewhat lilac one with like a wood accent wall, and then the other one was like a peachy green one, I guess. But yeah, they're just moving on to the downstairs. I wanted it to be open plan downstairs. There's something about open plan and like modern, I think it just goes together so well. And I also went with obviously the really cheap like appliances for the kitchen, and I initially did start off with like cabinets and loads of decorative items, but you'll see in a bit that I had to remove some of them. I removed the cabinets, the upper cabinets I mean, just because they're not usable, they're not functional, your Sims don't use them, they're purely decorative. And when I'm trying to save money to like put down objects that are functional, I thought I'd rather just get rid of the cabinets and we'll have like a bookshelf or the solar panels, for example. A thing that I kind of struggled with this build, it wasn't really so much the build itself, but every now and again you'll see me check the lot info panel to check how much the house costs. At one point I checked it and it said it were worth 16,000 simoleons. So I was like, oh, a nice one, I'll just put down loads of stuff now. I've got way more budget left than what I thought I had. But then when I uploaded it to gallery to check, it was like 30,000. So I think you should be able to see that in a bit. But yeah, it was 30,000 simoleons and I was so annoyed. I thought, why does it do that? Why does it act like the house is cheaper than what it is? And it completely throws you off. And it's not to do with the gallery art, because the gallery art that you put in the house, it can be worth thousands, but it doesn't actually contribute to the value of the house. Don't know why. I hope they never change that because it's so useful in creating starter homes. But yeah, it definitely wasn't the gallery art because I double checked it and tested it. So yeah, here look, it's worth 30,000. And I had to then go around the house and like edit everything. So I got rid of the TV and got like that really cheap one. And then I got, which I don't even know if it's functional. I know it's part of debug, like Eco Lifestyle debug, but I don't even know if it's functional. If it's not, then your Sims will just have to wait till they can afford to buy a TV. But yeah, I just swap out the bed in the other bedroom, and then that's when I decided to go with more of like a lilac theme, just to give it a bit more personality. One of the Sims, I can't remember the name of her, but she gives me like a very like girly sort of vibe. I'm not very good at describing stuff like this, but she seems like the type of Sim that would like sort of the typical traditional feminine interests like makeup and animals, or I don't know what the typical feminine interests are. I'm like sat here like, what do girls even like? She likes pink and butterflies and pretty things, I guess. And yeah, I guess she just strikes me as that type of Sim. I don't know why. But yeah, then I put out some stuff on the little patio thing. I wanted to give them a place where they could sit and just have some music playing. And I also went round the house and put some more gallery art down. The gallery art that I used, I think all of it is by Sarina Sims, but I think I might have used some by Michi, who's called New something, like a set of numbers on the gallery. I've used their gallery art before, and I'm using their gallery art for the base game save file that I'm working on. But yeah, I'll whatever gallery art I use, I'll link in the description. But I try to use just one person when I'm doing a video, because then it's easy to like credit them and stuff. But yeah, then I went round and got rid of the fences because that were just unnecessary money, seeing as they were just being used to like be a garden border, and I just replaced them with these like packages. You'll have probably seen other people use these. I've done it before. They're just debug items. They're meant to be like a package, but when you put them down in like the plain version, I think they look like rocks. There's an orange swatch as well that also looks like rocks or stones. I think the orange swatch looks like a pasty from like Greg's or something. But yeah, I used these to replace like the garden border and everything. And yeah, I think it looked better, to be fair. I think it just looks more interesting as a build. I don't know. I just think it looks better. And then I used Tool to size down the solar panels because they were just a bit too big on the bigger size, and then the smaller size were too small. And then after that will be at the end of the video. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already. The 1,000 subscriber video that I'm working on was meant to be uploaded this week as like a bonus video, but it ended up taking a lot longer to record than what I thought it were going to be, and you'll see why when I post the video. But yeah, that'll be next week. But yeah, either way, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.